So Thomas, today we're going to see Flexjet first. It's Phenom 300 from Embraer, and that is the smallest size aircraft which NetJets have. So this is the Phenom 300 from Embraer. As you see, this is the Flexjet and the smallest plane that NetJets offers. We're going to see a super mid-size cabin, which is a Challenger 350. It's by Bombardier, much bigger, more plush seats, wider, comfortable, and you have long range. Also, it's very quick plane. This is the Falcon 6X. It's the new model from Dassault Aviation. So Thomas,
yes.
Let's go for dinner. We'll take Froshendowski now and show her a little bit around Farnborough.
Okay, let's do this.
And our hotel. Froshendowski. We are now in northwest London. This is the area of Harrow, and as you can see, we're in the Reynolds Lane station, and a lot of pubs over here, they've been converted by Indians into Indian clubs. And here you have a famous one called Ruby M's, and they are usually people who left East Africa, and they come here many years ago, and they are the few generations into it, and the food style is a little bit peculiar. It's a bit different, you know, it's got some African and Indian kind of style mixed, so you'll try new food. Thomas, now we go to Tudor Lodge Hotel. It's a hotel that we sold recently, only a few weeks ago, and it was one of my earlier hotels that I bought in England about over 10 years ago, and finally we decided that we had paid up mostly all of the loan and we wanted to sell it and find something else in Scotland. So Thomas, this is where I used to stand the Wembley Hotel. This was my first hotel, and now of course it's been new painted and it's called a different name. But when I sold all those properties which I showed you earlier, this is the first hotel I bought, and it used to be for homeless people, and I had to clean it up and make it into a private hotel. So it was a big adventure for me. I wasn't much older than you that time, maybe just 21. So that's where it all started. Now I'm going to show you Hammond Blackbird. That used to be a pub that we had bought, and we ran it for a few years. We renovated it into a sports bar, it worked very well. And then later on we decided finally to sell it as a development to a local developer, and they got planning permission for 60 to 70 apartments there. So it was in the middle of Farnborough, it's a roundabout, and now the construction has already almost come to the final stages. So you see what development they've done.
So Richie, how you make your first money before you buy the hotels, and how old you were when you get into this business? How was the step into it?
Before the hotels, I used to do something called buy to let. It was real estate flipping, you know. I used to buy it with bank's money, and we borrowed sometimes 90, sometimes 100%, and we put a very small deposit, and then we used to flip those properties. So basically we buy them, clean them up, put a nice tenant inside, run it for a little while, and then we used to sell them. And before came this Bitcoin and crypto. This was that time the craze, buy to let. Okay. Everywhere you saw in the newspapers or the magazines, they were all talking about buy to let. That was the hot thing that time, you know. Okay. And then you have these terms like, you know, herd effect, what everybody's following like a herd, you know, like now for crypto everybody's following like everybody's a herd. Going there. And they also have this thing called the FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, that if you don't do it then you're missing out on it. So that's what was going on there with this real estate business that time. Yeah. So when I got in, I was probably your age, you know, very young, in my early 20s, yes, then I started doing it with small studios and one-bed apartments. They used to cost between 60,000 to 100,000 pounds, and we borrowed money, and then I got out of them in the next 3 to 4 years at 160 to 200,000 pounds. So we had made a phenomenal amount of money, you know, because the deposit is only 5 or 10,000 pounds, and then you make a big gain. So from 5 or 10,000 pound investment, you make 60 to 100,000 pounds. So that's not bad. 600%, sometimes 1,000% on your money. Yeah. So that. And how old you were when this starts? 21 to 23.
I make something wrong, guys.
We are now in South Hill Avenue, which is in Harrow on the Hill. As you can see, very historic buildings. Here is Orley Farm School. Now I'm showing you a house that I bought when I sold these smaller apartments which I talked about, and it's coming in the front on the left. This is Harga Court in Harrow on the Hill, and this is where I used to run all my property business. So this is where it was, where it all began.
Nice.
So, Thomas?
Yes.
Now we're going to a Lebanese restaurant on Edgware Road, which I've been visiting for many years.
Okay.
It's quite famous.
Over there?
Yes. And it's called Branus juice.
Branus juice.
Yes. Hi Thomas. So today we're gonna see Flexjet. They are one of the biggest providers of fractional ownership, just like NetJets. In the USA they are very big, and just since about a year they have entered the European market. And they will show us their new planes, which are the Praetor fleet, which is also from Embraer, and they have also the Legacies. It's a totally fleet from Embraer, and they also have some Gulfstreams, which we don't have access today. So I will show you the Praetor 600.
Cleared for takeoff.